what they're really saying to us is what? Prove to me this is a great deal and I'll take it. But what a lot of salesmen that are undertrained here is what? Hey, if I don't get this, I'm leaving. The buyer might even use those words, and I'm telling you, what we need to do is hear whatever they say, filter it, and hear, prove to me this is a great deal and I'll take it. So we've learned what an objection is, right? It's a reason to not go forward. We know it's based on a feeling because we know the market drives our pricing, right? We know that. And everything we do, our actions are based on our thinking. Our thinking is our knowledge and our mindset, the way we see things. If we have the right mindset, we'll take the right actions, get the right result. All right, so what do we know? We've done a really good job getting our thinking right. We presented the deal really well, and we asked for them to sign in a way that we totally expected them to sign, but they didn't. And they gave us what we called an objection, a reason for not going forward. It's based on a feeling, and what they're really saying to us is what? Prove to me this is a great deal, and I'll take it. But what a lot of salesmen that are undertrained here is what? Hey, if I don't get this, I'm leaving. The buyer might even use those words, and I'm telling you, what we need to do is hear whatever they say, filter it, and hear, prove to me this is a great deal, and I'll take it. See, what we hear, how we think about what they're saying is going to determine what we do. Now, we just talked about the fact that how we respond to their objection is going to really determine what happens next. What we say, how we respond to their objection is going to determine what happens next, where we make the sale, how much money we make, and how satisfied we are and our buyer is with us and our process, how even we feel about the whole thing, how we feel about our job and how we do our job. It's so important to have that healthy pride, right? Okay, so let me tell you the most common mistakes that undertrained salespeople make. Now you're wondering, Dave, where'd you get these from? Well, I've been studying salespeople. I've been doing this for 37 years. I've been studying the best of the best to collect what they do, combine them, and create these success models. And I've made every one of these mistakes. When I first started selling cars, I wasn't trained to present a deal sheet. I wasn't trained to overcome objection. No one was. And I'm willing to bet that most of you have not had the level of training that you've desired for closing and negotiating either. And that's why we made this course widely available to give you those thinking, those tools, and the process you need, the training you need to develop your own craft and turn that into that art form, right? Become a master closer, negotiator. All right, so here's the 4 that we hear. And when I go to dealerships all over the country, I'll sit down with the GM or the owner or whoever's running the store, and I'll say, all right, let me paint a scenario for you. Buyer says, I'll take it. Well, what are your numbers? The salesman gets numbers, brings back a deal sheet, presents it, and the buyer looks at your salesman and says, give me $4,000 more and I'll take it right now, right? What does your salesman do? That's the scenario. What are your salespeople doing right now? Guess what? Every single, not some, every single person I've asked this question has said to me, well, they come up to the desk. They get up and they go to the desk. Let me talk to my manager. It's the number one thing. You see what happens, undertrained salesmen get frightened when the buyer makes a counter offer that's ridiculous, that's a long way apart, and they think that the buyer believes in their number because they're undertrained. They don't have the thinking that you're getting right now. Here's what I know. Let me go talk to my manager, destroys trust, and it destroys growth, and it might even cost you the deal. Whenever you get up and leave to talk to your manager, you're saying to your buyer, yeah, we thought you were a sucker. I tried you. Man, I told him you probably wouldn't fall for it. Let me go get you the real numbers. That's, in essence, what you're selling. Now, you still may sell that car. You're going to have to pay them more to sell the car when you do that. You may still sell the car, but I'm going to tell you what you didn't do is you didn't maintain the trust you need to have an excited, loyal, lifetime customer that comes back to you and sends their friends to you. We're looking for people who look at us differently, who say, I think differently about my salesperson. And the reason they think differently about you is because you did things different. So number one, I've got to talk to my man. Let me go talk to my manager. Don't do that. I did it. I sold a lot of cars and I made money and I thought I was doing it right. And then when I learned what to really do, I'm like, wow, how much did that cost me? Is that what you're thinking right now? You should be. Let's go ahead and eliminate that mistake. And that's what we're going to teach you going forward in the course. How about this one? If I could, would you? I want $4,000 more. Okay, so I get you $4,000 more. You'll take it, right? If you jump on a first counter offer like that, it makes the buyer think what? Oh yeah, that's possible. And they're going to feel like they haven't asked for enough. You've created the wrong expectations. Once again, if you create those wrong expectations, we may not even be able to get together and make the sale. Once again, it's going to cost you to make that sale. Once again, you've destroyed trust and that excited, loyal, lifetime customer that's going to come back. How about this one? Let's split the difference. Okay, you want $4,000. I can't get you $4,000, but what about $2,000? Just a mere mention of splitting the difference says, I've been holding out on you. Let me give you what I was holding out on you. And it destroys everything. And by the way, if they want 4 and you offer to split the difference, how much have you give them in theory? 2 of it. Now you'll be negotiating from their 4 to that 2, and you've lost. Even if you make that deal, you're paying them to buy the car from you. I don't know about you, but I work really hard and I want to be paid for the work I do. And we want you to be paid for the work you do. Let's not do that anymore. And number 4, here's one. A lot of salesmen say, well, how'd you come up with that? And basically, you don't realize what you're doing. What you're doing is you're making the buyer double down on their half-truth of their lie. They're not going to say, well, how'd I come up with it? I was lying. I pulled it out of the air. I just want to see if you could give me any more. Nobody says that. They double down on whatever crap they want to believe and the reason they should get more. And if they double down, they're going to lock into it. And boy, moving them is hard. We don't want to challenge them. Well, how'd you come up with that? Because I bet you booked it out wrong because you're too stupid to do this right. That's what they're going to hear if you challenge them, and they're going to go ahead and defend themselves. And the more they defend themselves, the more they say it, the more they believe it themselves, the harder it is to move them. Let me ask you, honestly, are you making these mistakes right now? Don't worry about it. Better today than yesterday. That's what this band is about. I did those same things and I was selling cars and making money. Once I found a new and better way, I'm not stupid enough to keep using chopsticks when I find a fork. I'm using the fork. When you have a better tool, what do? You use it. I'm not mad at myself for using the old way. I didn't know. That was then. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be better today than we were yesterday. Does that make sense? If we have a new tool, let's master it and let's begin using it right now. And by the way, that's what this course is going to do. We're going to teach you how to properly respond so you can eliminate these 4 mistakes. You can hold more gross. You can maintain that trust. You can sell more cars. And what we really want is a customer that generates us future business. They're so excited. They send us their friends. They come back. And everybody, their neighbors or coworkers, they say, you got to see my guy, right?